Hey, Shalom, Shalom. Give me 1 second. About to get started. Shalom. All right, Shalom, Shalom. To whoever hopping on. All right, I'm gonna give all praises and glory unto Yahweh, Bahasham, the Havashai, Bahasham, Raha, Hodash. Honors be to the elect elders of the nation of Israel that do labor and teach the truth and sincerity. Shalom to all you Akim, we hope for elect on the highway and hedges, making your body living sacrifice according to Romans 12 and verse 1. Shalom to you sincere believers as well, which consist of men and women. Shalom, Brakatham, and as always, Abba Babal. DTA, this is your brother Zarkar Aban coming back with another video. This will be a a live sit down on Ratazah. Be out there on the highway and hedges tomorrow, Lord's will, on Ratazah. But this would be a live sit down. A few things I got in the spirit, a few things I got in the mind, and on Ratazah, this will be edifying. So we're gonna start in the book of first scripture comes to mind is John chapter 14. We'll start at verse 1. And the reason I'm going to this is ultimately because it says that let not your heart be troubled as I continue to go on. So we see that how the judge the other day had pretty much told Donald Trump to pay up as far as the SNAP benefits, but all this is going to be delayed. So, brothers and sisters that's in the right spirit, ultimately we want this place to do what? To crumble and to crash out. But all this is the will of the Most High. And also Shalom to the brother Kabash Nah, Shalom to the sister Idina Padril, Shalom to the Masha Pop, which is the family, Shalom, Brakatham to you and your households, Shalom. So let's go to the book of John 14 and verse 1. And it says that let not your heart be troubled. Your heart goes into your mind. So don't let your mind become troubled. So when we see things is pretty much, not crumbling at its full max, not being shut down at its full max, it could make you say, oh man, it's taking too long or whatever. You don't want to have that mindset. We got to have the mindset of that the Most High has his own time. The Most High, is working. As Jake said in the world, let him cook. Okay? Everything is being fulfilled at its right time. Just got to continue to be patient. It says, let not your heart be troubled, which means your mind. You believe in the Most High, believe also in me. This is in Havashai. But it said, let not your heart be troubled. So let's get that word for trouble in the Greek. Bear me 1 second as I get there. Salakia. On the blue letter, by the way. So this is trouble. Bear me 1 second.
Strong 15. Tarasso. Tarasso.
Okay, and that word for trouble, it goes into what? To agitate, trouble a thing by the movement of its parts to and fro, to stir up, inward commotion, all right, perplex of the mind, okay, to dread with fear. So we got to keep in mind that ultimately, once again, this is the will of the Most High. So let not your heart be troubled, okay. And another one comes to mind as well. And Shalom to the sister Rebecca Ophir, Shalom sis, Brakatham to you and your household, right? So we want to once again have that mindset of not becoming overwhelmed, right? As Jake's in the world, let him cook. So this is let's drop this and let's go to the book of Proverbs chapter 13 and verse 12. That lines up perfectly with John 14 and verse 1. Okay, this is Proverbs 13 and verse 12. Hope deferred maketh it the heart sick. Hope deferred. And that's good, the word for deferred, real swift. This in the Hebrew, Strong's H4900, masak. It goes into what? To drag, to cease, to drag, to draw. Okay, because once again, it seems like, things is not popping off at its full max. But ultimately, these prophecies is not, taking a long time. Ultimately, everything has been done by the will of the Most High, right? As it says, though it tarry, wait for it, right? So it says, hope deferred, make it the heart sick. And that word deferred in the Hebrew goes to what? To drag. As a matter of fact, Baba Kushah to the brother Kabash Nah, can you put for me Though it tarry, wait for it, Bab Kushah. That should be the book of, see. Bear me 1 second. You can find it for me. Should be the book of Habakkuk, chapter 2. Habakkuk chapter 2 should be verse either 3. Habakkuk 2 and 3. This is Proverbs 13 and verse 12. Hope deferred maketh the heart sick, but when the desire cometh, it is a tree of life. Going to what the blessings. But the hope deferred, once again, it means which means drag, or pretty much. Matter of fact, let's grab this from the brother, the water. It said the vision is yet for an appointed time. Habakkuk chapter 2 and verse 3. But at the end, I'm gonna grab it here, make it clear. And also shalom to the elder, shalom to the El Sagalah, shalom, brakatham to you and your household, elder. All right, this is Habakkuk 2 and verse 3. For the vision is yet for an appointed time, but at the end it shall speak and not lie, though it tarry, meaning what? The prophecies. Okay, so although prophecies come in stages, like the blowing of the trumpets, everything has a particular stage. So once again, so in November 2025, Donald Trump was ordered to to pay up. Now he said himself that it's going to be pretty much delayed, right? So it's going to take time. So once again, everything has a particular stage, right? So we was rooting for this place to go out with a big bang, but as we can see, the Most High has a particular time, man. All right, the Most High is going to allow for everything to be fulfilled at its max. Says it, though it tarry, wait for it, because it will surely come, it will not tarry, right? So once again, everything has a particular time. Hey, shalom to the brother Shamgar, shalom, brakatham to you and your household. Okay, so let's drop this. Let's read this one more time in the NLT. Proverbs 13 verse 12. Hope deferred maketh the heart sick. Right? So you become trouble-minded. Okay? It just really going to happen. That's why, having that faith is also a gift. But a dream fulfilled is a tree of life, going to what? The blessings. Right? So let's drop this, and now let's go to the book of 2nd Ezra chapter 7, describe a few of that. Because even though we're still waiting, we still got to, walk that straight, narrow path, as we're going to read in the book of 2nd Ezra chapter 7 on down. Right? Which I want to, all the families hopping on, see, make sure I'm missing anybody. The age grass from the brother Kabashana, Isaiah 26 and verse 3. Thou will keep him in perfect peace, whose mind is stayed on thee. Beautiful. Because he trusted it in thee, right? In perfect peace, meaning being what? Pretty much completion. All right. You're gonna be always have the mindset of pleasing the Most High. Okay, you can't make yourself a servant, can't make yourself have faith. All of that is of the will of Yahweh Shem Al Shah. So a man that is always thinking about seeking the Most High to keep his eyes single is going to be what? Is going to ultimately have that reward. Let me see if I can find that real quick. Bear me 1 second. This is Matthew 6 and verse 33. And it says, seek the kingdom of Outer One Yahweh, NLT, seek the kingdom of Outer One Yahweh above all else, and live righteously, and he will give you everything you need. All right, but first and foremost, you got to do what? Seek Yahweh by Hashem Yahweh Shai. All right, and live righteously, meaning what? Have integrity. And have integrity is pretty much doing the will of the Most High. All right, his law, his statutes, commandments, rehearsing it. That's a man that has what? Integrity. And he will give you everything you need. Right, going to what? Particular blessings, gifts. Okay, let's see what else we got. Isaiah 26 and verse 4. Trust you in the Yahweh forever, for in the Yahweh the Most High is everlasting strength. Right, because the Most High is called what? That rock. He's that strong foundation. Right, we're not trusting in Babylon the Great like everybody else. You had this particular Jake on the news yesterday. She was crying, and pretty much about her snaps or the EBT being pretty much canceled. All right, but they are but I'll bring that up to say that they are trusting in Babylon the Great. Nothing wrong with using the world. I'll make that clear. Nothing wrong with using the world, but ultimately the trust in this system that is crumbling is off. Right, this place is done. Right, this place is very much done. Let's get the book of 2nd Ezra chapter 7. Let's grab a few more and that'd be pretty much it. And when I had made an end of speaking these words, there was sent unto me the angel which had been sent unto me the nights afore. Now this is Ezra the prophet. Now real quick, Ezra was one of those great men that had many roles in the body, in the ministry. Not only was he a high priest, he was a prophet. All right, he wrote the Genesis. All right, and he said unto me, up Ezra, and hear the words that I came to tell thee. And I said, speak on my power, the outer one. This is the angel right here speaking. Then said he unto me, the sea is set in a wide place, that it might be deep and great. Now the sea, this represents as we're going to see, pretty much like the world. All right, because when we read these scriptures, it's likened unto what parables, dark sayings. Let's continue on. But put the case, the entrance were narrow and like a river, who then could go into the sea to look upon it and to rule it. If he went not through the narrow, how could he come into the broad? So what, that narrow path, right? Only a perfect man can stay on that only a perfect man can go through that, that narrow path. All right, and the perfect man is a man that is what? A God-fearing man, as they say, right? A man that is pleasing to a man that is trying to please the Most High, right? They're doing the will of the Most High. As I just grabbed in the book of Matthew 6 and verse 33, a man that is what? Seeking the kingdom first. Right? Think about it. You seeking the kingdom first in this world, in this world that everybody seems to love, not only the world, but really America, that everybody, has as they say in the world, a hard on for, right? Everyone still has a love affair with America, although America is crumbling, but they still, they still desire for America to continue to be what? Continue to stay in motion. All right. So for a man or a woman to have a mindset of this place crumbling is a beautiful thing to the Most High. This is Matthew chapter 7, because they go into what? That narrow. And that narrow path, once again, is doing this work. Right? Not many people is even thinking about the scriptures, nor do they care. Matthew chapter 7, start verse 13. Enter you in at the straight gate, for wide is the gate and broad is the way that leadeth to destruction, and many there be which go in thereat. Let's read it in NLT. You can enter Most High's kingdom only through the narrow gate. All right, that narrow gate. The highway to hell is broad, and the gate is wide for many who choose that way. Meaning what? There's many devices in this world. There's many things that get you entrapped. Right? There are many snares in Babylon the Great, aka America. Right? There have been many brothers, so-called brothers, that have become bewitched. They have turned, they have turned aside. They have went back to their vomit. Right? So, that's that broad is the way. But that narrow path is once again seeking the kingdom of the Most High. Having your mind stayed upon pleasing the outer one, Yahweh. But the gateway to life is very narrow. It's very narrow. Right? Not many people can enter. And the road is difficult. And why is it difficult? Because it said the book of Acts 14 and 22, through much trial and tribulation shall we enter into the kingdom of heaven. Right? And we're going to grab a little bit more in that in the book of 2nd Ezra chapter 7. But the gateway to life is very narrow and the road is difficult. Yahweh Shai said that what? Carry your cross. Your cross goes to what? Your burden. And once again, I'm going to quote it one more time. Acts 14 and verse 22, where it says, trial and tribulation. And only a few ever find it. Only a few ever find it. That's that, that cluster of the grape. That's that small remnant. That's the 144,000, which is the head of the 1/3. Right? The 1/3 is a lesser number than 2/3. The majority of our people, as you hear brothers say quite often, is going to die. All right? But few ever find it. Because the Most High is not revealing himself unto many. Even to the jakes that may come in for a little time or a little season, right? It's all good, because ultimately the Most High is going to allow them to fill, it's going to allow for them to fizzle out. Okay? Yeah, many men that once could quote the scriptures and, for 10 years, they was on the highways and hedges 10, 15 years. And then all of a sudden they have, some type of crazy epiphany in their mind that you know, this ain't the truth, which is all the way off. Grab this from the brothers. This is Psalms 84 from the brother Kabashana. For the Yahweh is a sun and shield. The Yahweh will give grace and glory. No good thing will he withhold from them that walk it uprightly. Beautiful. All right. Because the Most High is going to what? Is going to reward a man that seek to please him. I'm going to back that up. That should be the book of Second Sirach. Remember 1 second. That's a beautiful precept. The water brother. That should be Sirach. Let me see if I can find that. Read it one more time. This is Psalms 84 and verse 11. For the Yahweh Most High is a sun and shield. The Yahweh will give grace and glory. No good thing will he withhold from them that walk uprightly. And walk uprightly is pretty much what? Keeping the law, statutes, commandments, to sum it up. All right, that's having integrity that, once again, a lot of people do not have. Let me grab this. This is this should be it. So Sirach, Ecclesiasticus 2 and verse 6. Believe in him and he will help thee. Order thy way aright and trust in him. Trust in who? Yahweh, Ba'ashem Al-Shai. You that fear the outer one, wait for his mercy and go not aside lest you fall. Go not aside, as I just grabbed in the book of Matthew 7, 13 and 14. For broad is the way, meaning what? There's many snares and entrapments in Babylon the Great, also known as America. All right, there's many things that can get you caught up when you playing around with too many people. You know, people, 2/3, or you hanging around too many heathens, or so on. Ultimately, you can start taking on their philosophies. All right, you can start, thinking how they think. Okay. You gotta have the mindset of what, ultimately, yes, we use the world. Yes, we gotta work. Yes, we gotta be around certain people, but not to be indulging in what people indulge in, man. Believe in him and he will help thee. Order thy way aright and trust in him. You that fear the outer one, Yahweh, wait for his mercy and go not aside lest you fall. Like broad is the way. You that fear the outer one, believe him, and your reward shall not fail. Your reward shall not fail. The Most High is not a man that he shall lie. So of course, if you always seeking to please the Most High, right, and you always doing the work, okay, then we understand that the Most High is not a man that he shall lie. If the Most High rewarded the prophets of old, all right, why not now? He doesn't change, right? You that fear the outer one, Yahweh, hope for good and for everlasting joy and mercy. I'm glad this since I'm here. Look at the generations of old and see, did ever any trust in the outer one and was confounded? That's a question that's been asked. Or did any abide in his fear and was forsaken? That's another question. Or whom did he ever despise that called upon him? All right. And the answer is, no one. Them that came seeking the Most High in true sincerity, right? The Most High ultimately, was with them. Now, of course, they had to catch their hell. Your hell goes into, like an affliction, right? And hell can go into, the grave. All right. Not literal, how they say in Christian church, like hell as far as a pitchfork and the devil. All right. But hell can go into like, affliction, trial, tribulation, or the grave. This is from the brother Kabashana, Matthew 22 and 14. Many are called, but few are chosen. Straight to the point. All right. Many are called, but few are chosen. Like I was saying, this truth is like this truth. I'm not from grab it here, but yeah, many men that came in and pretty much fell out. I could think of a couple of brothers off my head that we pretty much came through the ranks together, right? Roughly about 7 years ago, and now they're gone. They know where to be found. Let me grab this. Bear with me 1 second. See if I can find this. I ain't brought this out in a minute. Bear with me 1 second. If I can, here it is. The Wadi Habashim Al-Shai. This is should be book of Matthew 13. But like I was saying, you have many men that had came in and fell out. All right, they couldn't, they couldn't stand the test. And it's all good because this is the will of Yahweh Shema Shah. Unfortunately, you was them that was called but wasn't chosen. I'm gonna go straight to the point on this. This is Matthew 13 verse 47. Again, the kingdom of heaven is like unto a net that was cast into the sea. The sea represents the world. Revelation 17 and verse 15 proves that. Okay, I'll grab it real quick, just make this quick point. But the sea represents the people, the world. All right, this is Matthew 17:15, straight to the point. And he said unto me, the waters which thou sawest, where the horse sitteth, which is Babylon the Great, America, are peoples and multitudes and nations and tongues. All right, so I'll make that quick point as far as saying that the sea represents, once again, the people, the world. And again, the kingdom of heaven is like unto a net that was cast into the sea and gathered of every kind. It says, which when it was full, they drew to shore and sat down and gathered the good into the vessels, but cast the bad away. So shall it be at the end of the world. The angels shall come forth and sever the wicked from among the just. Now, like I'm making a point, as a brother put in the book of Matthew 22 and verse 14, many have been called, many are called, but few are what? Chosen. All right, because once again, the truth is like a big net, right? You got many, you got Jake from all walks of life in this, in this truth. But ultimately, when we see how when tribulation hits or hard time hits, we see who is real and who is the fake. Okay, it's not hard to tell. That's why you may see a man that was once going hard in the paint, but then once the Most High, gave him a little spanking, then all of a sudden now the truth, now he don't believe in the truth. All right, so he was what? A fake. Or you got guys like, we gonna continue to mention them. It is what it is. Like Al-Azhar. Al-Azhar was one of the best teachers I ever seen. I met one of his proteges. I forgot his name. He used to have an afro. He got a haircut. He lived in NC. I think he lived in Raleigh. I don't think it's Assad. It's the other brother. But I met him before. But them guys be bad with the scriptures. When I first came in. All right. So for that, so for that guy now to be all the way off in left field and talking about, toe tags and killing another Jake. Come on, man. But it shows you that, he was called, but he was not chosen. This is 2nd Esdras, chapter 7. I'm going to grab a few more, then I'm going to close it out. 2nd Esdras, chapter 7, and verse 4. Read verse 5, Salakia. 2nd Esdras 7 and verse 5. Who then can go into the sea to look upon it and to rule it? If he went not through the narrow, how could he come into the broad? So you got to go through this hard affliction. This is necessary. All right. Look at, once again, as I grabbed in the book of Sirach chapter 2, Sirach chapter 2 and verse 10, it said, look at the generations of old. Right. Look at all the prophets of old that went through their trial and tribulation. Noah. All right. King David, when he had many battles, he battled Saul. He battled his own son, Absalom. Okay. He went through battles. Look at Daniel. Right. In the lion's den. Right, his friends, as they said, the 3 holy children was cast into that, that great fire, but they held their integrity. They still believed in the Most High. So that's that so that's that narrow. It's necessary to be catching hell. Okay, to the world that sounds off or off-putting, but the Most High said that he chastised. Who then could go into the sea to look upon it and to rule it? If he went not through the narrow, how could he come into the broad? There is also another thing. A city is builded and set upon a broad field, and is full of all good things. The entrance thereof is narrow, and is set in a dangerous place to fall, like as if there were a fire on the right hand, and on the left a deep water. Bear me 1 second. Let's grab in the GNT, make it a tad bit clear. Okay, but real quick to sum it up, this truth is out here, all right? We still got brothers out here pushing the truth amongst all types of wolves. This is what is this? Salakia. Remember 1 second. 2nd Esdras, chapter 7. Let's go straight to the point. 6 and 7. Or take another example, picture a city built on a plain. This is GNT. The city is full of all kinds of good things, but the entrance to it is narrow and steep, with fire on one side and deep water on the other. Right? So let me grab this, like I had quoted, but I'm gonna bring it out anyway. Catching hell, right, is pretty much necessary. As scripture says, if you be if you be without chastisement, then you are what? A bastard. That means you are what? Fatherless. The Most High is not dealing with you. This is Acts 14:22, confirming the souls of the disciples and exhorting them to continue in the faith, and that we must through much tribulation enter into the kingdom of Adonai Yahweh. So that's that fire on one side and that's that water on another. All right, going through what? Much tribulation. All the prophets did it. Hell, look at the disciples that became apostles, right? You know, you had Apostle Peter that was hanged upside down. You had Apostle Paul, I believe he was beheaded. Okay, you had John the Baptist. He was not of the 12. You know, he was the forerunner, but ultimately he was beheaded as well. You had Apostle John they tried to kill him many times, but ultimately they just pretty much put him on the island of Patmos. Right, then he brought the book of Revelation. Okay, so we see how great men was catching it, right? Was catching hell. So it says, confirming the souls of the disciples and exhorting them to continue in the faith, and that we must through much tribulation enter into the kingdom of Adonai Yahweh. It's necessary to be catching this hell. It's very necessary. Not saying it feel good, right? It shouldn't feel good, because that's why the scripture said to eat the bitter. When we had the Passover. The Pesach and the feast of unleavened, but during the Pesach, it said to do what? To eat the bitter. Why? Because being in slavery, being in captivity is very bitter, right? So it shouldn't feel good, but ultimately this is for us being what? Refined, like that gold, being refined, becoming better. Damn, Esau, boy, this damn devil. I was gonna bring it out here, but my phone. Hold on, give me 1 second. Satan. So like I was saying, it's very necessary, and it's nothing out the ordinary that we are catching this hell. It's all good if I can't find it. Yep, this is the Wadi Habashim al Shai. 1 Peter 4 and verse 12. Beloved, the beloved is the elect. All right, that's what you'll call the house of the morning. All right, the house of David. And why is it called the house of mourning? Because we are what? Sighing and crying, right? We calling out for, the Most High, Yahweh Ba'Shem Al Shai, to come out and pretty much to lay this place flat, to pretty much, waste it, right? That's our goal. Beloved, think it not strange concerning the fiery trial, which is to try you. Once again, as I just brought out, 2nd Esdras 7, was that 6 and 7, fire on one side and water on the other. Okay, so that's that fiery trial. Right now we are going through what? The trying stage. All right, the Most High is not about quantity, it's about quality. Okay, who is the real and who is the fake? That's what it's about, man. So that's why the brother put Matthew 22 and was that 14? Yep, Matthew 22 and verse 14. Many have been called, all right, but few have been chosen. Because the Most High deals with what? Quality over quantity. So the more you see, so when you see someone is getting tried and they're going through hard times and they get stronger and stronger, that's a man that you can rock with. But a man that time adversity hits him, and now all of a sudden, what? He's weak. He's falling out. He's nowhere to be found. All right, and that's beautiful. That's the spirit. Proverbs 24 and verse 10 from the brother Kabashana. If you are weak in a crisis, you are weak indeed. All right, so if you are weak in a crisis, if you are weak in a hard time, then you're just a weak person, man. You have no faith. All right, your faith is very small. Beloved, think it not strange concerning the fiery trial, which is to try you, as though some strange thing happened unto you. It's not strange. Okay, you can look at the beginning of time of great men, our forefathers, catching hell. Catching hell just means hard times, tribulation, right? You just going through it right now. Okay, so look at the forefathers, our forefathers, the prophets of old, catching it, man. And they still held on to, you know, and they still call on the Most High. They still held on to what? Integrity. But rejoice in as much as you are partakers of Hamashiach. Rejoice. Okay? You know, it's beautiful. Right? So, you know, ultimately this means that what? That we got a shot to make it. Partakers of Hamashiach's sufferings, because our big brother Yahweh Shai suffered. Okay? Got spit, got slapped on. Right? They scoffed, they mocked at him. And that scripture said that what? The servant not greater than his master. So, so if Yahweh Shai called it, our King, our Lord called it, then how much, then why shouldn't we catch it, right? Then when his glory shall be revealed, you may be glad also with exceeding joy. Okay, so that's good on there. Salakia, I got somebody. Hold on, Naki, I got somebody trying to roll up on me. Bear me 1 second. What the fuck was that? Salaki. All right, that's weird. All right. Hey, Salaki about that, man. This got a lot of strange weirdos out here, for real. I'm about to wrap it up anyway. All right. Amari, what's your question to the guy, Amari? Whatever question you got, what's the question? Even if I don't see it, you know, got brothers on the chat that they can answer it as well. I'm not sure what the question is though. 2nd Esdras chapter 7 and what the fuck is that? 2nd Esdras 7 and let's read verse 7 again. It said, the entrance thereof is narrow and set in a dangerous place to fall, like as if there were a fire on the right hand, and on the left a deep water. As I brought up, you know, a couple of scriptures going into what the fiery trial, pretty much catching hell. And one only path between them both, even between the fire and the water, so small that there could but one man go there at once. Only one man go in there at once. Right? And why is that? Let's grab this in the book of Ecclesiastes. What's going on with this phone, man? Let's go to Ecclesiastes 7 and verse 28. Let's make this quick point. Why can only one man go in there at once? This is Ecclesiastes 7:28 verse. Let's read the NLT. Though I have searched it repeatedly, I have not found what I was looking for. Only one out of 1,000 men is victorious, but not one woman. KJV, which yet my soul seeketh it, but I find not one among 1,000. Have I found only one righteous man of 1,000, of a great multitude had the Most High found. But a woman among all those have I not found. Right? So that's why only one man can go in there at once. Once again, as I made a quick point, the Most High go over what? It goes over quality. It's never about a great number. It's never about, you know, a quantity of people. Matter of fact, the Most High tried it. Right? In the ancient Egypt, he literally delivered all of Israel. Right? Every last one of them. And we see how they was scoffing and mocking. Talking about they won't go back to Egypt and eat cucumbers and shit. So this is 2nd Esdras. Remember 1 second. 2nd Esdras chapter 7 and verse 9. It says, if anyone inherits this city, he cannot take possession of his inheritance without passing through this dangerous entrance. It's very dangerous. Right? We are what? You know, sheep amongst wolves. Okay, and grab that. Let's grab a few. Make it clear as possible. This is Matthew 10 and verse 16. This is just laying back off of what? 2nd Esdras 7 and verse 9 in the GNT. If anyone inherits the city, he cannot take possession of his inheritance without passing through this dangerous entrance. Because this is a what? You know, this is a what you'll call like a dangerous job, but it's necessary. Romans 12 and verse 1, where it says that what? Make your body a living sacrifice, right? A lot of the times, if you watch my videos, when I give, you know, when I give a salute and I get a praise to the Most High, I usually would say them that make their body a living sacrifice. That's Romans 12 and verse 1, because that's what you are doing, making your body a living sacrifice. We on the highways and the hedges, right? Anything can happen. This is Matthew 10 and verse 16. Behold, red lettering, this is Yahushua speaking. Behold, I send you forth as sheep in the midst of wolves. Now, right here in context, this is Yahushua sending out the disciples, right, to go out there and to, preach the kingdom, preach the kingdom of heaven, right? But this is also applied today as well with the men on the highways and the hedges, what you call street teaching. Behold, I send you forth as sheep in the midst of wolves. Be you therefore wise as serpents and harmless as doves, right? So people are likened unto what? Wolves. Okay. As it says in the book of Matthew 24, that that people have become what? Cold, right? We among some savages out there, man. 2nd Ezra 7 verse 10. Grab a few more. That is right, sir. I said that is how with the people of Israel at it. I made this world for their sake, but when Adam broke my commands, the world came under my judgment. And to this very day, we see how this world has, been on the down decline, right? Then the entrance into this world were made narrow and difficult to travel. They were rough, dangerous, and few in number. Almost there. Skip down to verse 14. Everyone who lives must walk the narrow and meaningless ways of this world in order to receive the blessing stored up in the world to come. But it says that everyone who lives must walk the narrow and meaningless ways of this world, correct? Because matter of fact, the chapter of Ecclesiastes, that that whole chapter, it goes to what? Vanity of vanities. So pretty much this world is meaningless. All right, nothing about it is real. Everything is fake. Everybody is acting, right? As that guy Alazar was saying, cosplaying, Gorilla Hebrew. Everyone is fake. Okay, but it said that what? It says the narrow and meaningless ways of this world in order to receive the blessing stored up in the world to come. So although we are amongst wolves and we are amongst a bunch of hypocrites and actors, ultimately we still got to live here until the Most High to the Most High deliver us. Okay, as it says, use the world, but not abusing it. So that's the point. All right, so his question is, I'm gonna wrap it up. This is Mari. Just how worried about aging, and I guess how will you go about it? I guess how do you approach it so that it doesn't seem scary? Just how hold on. Just trying to see what you're asking, brother. To the guy Mari, remember 1 second, bro. I'm trying to see what you said something about aging. I can't see it on this phone right here. I gotta read it from here. Just how worried about aging, and I guess how will you go about it? I guess how do you approach it so that way it doesn't seem scary? Well, ultimately everybody's going to age. If you're asking about it being scary, everyone is going to age. That's just what it's going to be. Now the difference is when we get those new bodies, speaking about the nation of Israel, we will not be aging. All right, those new bodies will not get sick or anything like that. But for the time being, all flesh. Watch this. I'm gonna let Scripture speak. Bear me 1 second. Grab this. This is Sirach 14 and 17. This is in Apocrypha or Ecclesiasticus, chapter 14, verse 17. All flesh waxeth old as a garment. All flesh, regardless if you're Israelite or not, everybody gets old, right? Everybody gets weaker. Okay, the older you get, the weaker you get. All right, especially when you hit around, 30s, then it pretty much be on a decline from there. That's why when you watch sports, and sports, when a guy hits 30, they start saying that how many more years he got for his career. Why? Because now you are aging. All flesh waxeth old as a garment. All flesh. For the covenant from the beginning is thou shalt die the death. All right, so that's a covenant. That's that's a pet agreement that the Most High put. Why? For Adam going off. All right, for listening to those philosophies of Eve. All right, so, so when Adam took on those philosophies, ultimately, that's when, death was put in place for the nation of Israel. Then it was called the sons of God, all right, in Adam's day. But nations, heathen nations, I'll make this quick point, but heathen nations is always going to come and go, all right? Because why? Because the law, statute, commandments is not with them, okay? The wages of sin is death. Sin is the breaking of the law. The law was only given to the sons of God, or what you call today the children of Israel. So once again, all flesh wax to the old until the Most High gets back and pretty much brings in a new covenant and he receives those new bodies. Graduate from the brother Kabashana. This is Isaiah 40 and verse 29. And he giveth power to the faint, and to them that have no might, he increaseth its strength. Woo! All right. So, because ultimately we are what worms. Okay. We don't have, as it says, we don't have like a great military base. We're not the strongest, right? But ultimately, the Most High is he's gonna give what the believer's strength. Right there, there come a time where you're literally gonna have brothers have spiritual powers. He gave the power to the faint, and to them that have no might, he increased its strength. But the strength starts off with what? Having this gift to be able to, prophesy, to be able to go through the scriptures, to be able to break down dark sayings. All right. So that's our power first and foremost. I'll make this clear. Let's get this. Make this very clear. Going to what the knowledge is strength. How this is say that knowledge is power, which is. Jay always say knowledge is power, and that's actually the truth. This is Proverbs 24 and verse 5. A wise man is strong. A wise man is strong, yea, a man of knowledge increaseth its strength. So knowledge, so knowledge, having wisdom, right? All of that, represent true strength. Okay. And that's all from and that's all the will of the Most High. Even the youths shall faint and be weary, and the young men shall utterly fall. Right? Let's continue on. But they that wait upon Yahweh shall renew their strength. So pretty much everyone that's not, really that's a 2/3, old, young, whoever, all is going to catch it. But them that are waiting upon Yahweh B'Shem Al Shai, right? Them that are doing the will of the Most High, walking that straight narrow path, seeking the kingdom in the book of Matthew 6 and 33, the Most High ultimately is going to bless them. As I grabbed it earlier, who do the Most High despise that called upon his name in sincerity? And the answer is none. This says, I'm glad this. It said, even the youth shall faint and be weary, and the young man shall utterly fall. I got to grab that. I got to back that up in the book of Ezekiel, right? Make a few quick points. About all is going to catch it. This is Ezekiel 9. This is an oldie. This is one of the first scriptures that you read about when you hear about the judgment that's going to get ready to come out. This is Ezekiel 9 and verse 4. And Yahweh said unto him, go through the midst of the city, through the midst of Jerusalem, and set a mark upon the foreheads of the men that sigh and that cry. This is going to a spiritual mark, not the charagma that you read about in Revelation 13. This goes into having the names, of the Father and the Son. All right. That's why only a select few, once again, that quality only called upon the names of the Most High. It has to be, that's really that engrafted word that's inside of you. And set a mark upon the foreheads of the men that sigh and that cry, the house of the mourning that I quoted earlier. Right. That's the house of the mourning. That would be the house of David. That sigh and that cry for all the abominations that be done in the midst thereof. Okay. And also you had Jeremiah that was called a weeping prophet. Okay. And to the others he said in mine hearing, go you after him through the city and smite. Let not your eyes spare, neither have you pity. Right. So that's that judgment that's going out. So when the Most High unleashes judgment, it's gonna be like a it's gonna be like like a flood. That's Amos chapter 5 and verse 24. Right. You're gonna have teeth of wild beasts that's gonna tear these people apart. You're gonna have certain things that the Most High is gonna unleash that we never even thought about. You're gonna have chariots shooting fire, missiles to, to end the whole ball game. All right, so on, so on. Slay utterly old and young. And the reason I brought this up, because the brother put on Isaiah 40:30, he said, even the youth shall faint and be weary, and the young man shall utterly fall. Okay? So, that's pretty much what's going on right here. All right, that judgment. Slay utterly old and young, both maids and little children and women, but come not near any man upon whom is the mark, and begin at my sanctuary. Then they began at the ancient men which were before the house. All right, so regardless if you old, young, maid, which is a woman, young, it don't matter. All right, everybody's gonna catch that. Everybody's gonna catch it, man. All right, if you ain't right with the Most High and you didn't seek to please the Most High, and your eye wasn't on Most High destroying this place, Matthew 6:33, then ultimately, hey, you're gonna fall. You're gonna catch it. Ain't no other way to put it. But they that wait upon the Yahweh shall renew their strength. Renew, it's like being refreshed. And why does it say we're gonna renew our strength? Because we once was doing this in our previous lives. All right, calling upon the names of the Most High, even to the sisters as well. Right, the sincere sisters, I mean. So we just coming back to our lots. It's really that simple. We come back to a lot, go to our position. Whatever position, whatever we had back then, the Most High is going to put us back in that position, that lot once again. But they that wait upon the Yahweh shall renew their strength, which is going back to our lots, back to our position. They shall mount up with wings as eagles. They shall run and not be weary, and they shall walk and not faint. All right. And that goes into what? First and foremost, having the mindset of being strong. Okay, like I said, strength. It says strength. I'm grabbing it again. Proverbs 24 and verse 5. But first and foremost, go to what? Having strength, and strong, which is having this wisdom and knowledge. It said, a wise man is strong. Proverbs 24 and 5. A man of knowledge increases its strength. Okay. So with having this wisdom and knowledge and understanding. And also, we're going to have that spiritual power. Let me see if I can find that. I'll quote it a few times. I'm going to close it out. Hey, shalom to the brother, Rob Ka'an. Shalom, Malak, Brakathum to you and your household, Malak. Shalom. Let me see if I can find that real quick to prove about the spiritual powers that we're going to have. That should be the book of, bring me 1 second. Yep, hey, Dwadi Habashama Shah. This is the book of Psalms 110. All right, just prove about that spiritual power real quick. Woo. Verse 3 is a point, but I got to start up. I'm going to start verse 1. It said, the Yahweh said unto my Lord, sit down at my right hand until I make thy enemies thy footstool. All right, and this right here, if you understand the context, speaking to who's Solomon. All right, which is, our Lord. If you can receive it, that's Yahweh Shai. Yahweh shall send the rod of thy strength out of Zion, rule thou in the midst of thine enemies. First and foremost, that's Yahweh Shai in his previous life is called Solomon. That's the head of the house of David. That's the right hand of the Heavenly Father, Yahweh. As they say in the world, my right hand man, the right hand man of Yahweh, the Father, is Yahweh Shai. Thy people shall be willing in the day of thy power. That's literal. All right, you literally gonna have power. And how do we know that? Because what did Yahweh Shai say? The things that he do, we're gonna do what greater. All right, meaning what those old works that Yahweh Shai did. All right, the elect is gonna do greater works than he did back then. Okay, not saying that our works are gonna be no, because Yahweh Shai is gonna be the top. But those old works that he did, the works that the elect is gonna do is gonna be is gonna be far greater. It says, thy people shall be willing in the day of thy power, and the beauties of holiness from the womb of the morning. Thou hast the dew of thy youth. All right, being what? Strong. Okay, that's what that means, being strong. And that power, once again, is going to be literal. I'm gonna grab one more. I quoted it, so I'm gonna bring it out. Give me 1 second. This is John 14 and verse 12. Whew. Oh, this fire. And read this in a minute. John 14, start with verse 11. It says, believe me that I am in the Father, Yahweh Shai speaking, who the world ignorantly calls Jesus Christ. True name is Yahweh Shai, Hamashiach. Hamashiach means the anointed. And the Father in me, or else believe me for the very work's sake. Verily, verily, I say unto you, he that believeth on me, the only ones that be believing in the in Yahweh Shai, once again, is the house of mourning, the house of David. That's it. All right, it's really that plain. Verily, verily, I say unto you, he that believeth on me, the works that I do shall he do also, and greater works than these shall he do, because I go unto my Father. So we got to think about it. When Yahweh Shai was on the scene, I'm speaking about when he came as a man, he walked on water. He healed the sick, cleansed the leper, healed the blind. That's power. That's actual spiritual power. So Yahweh Shai out of his own mouth said that what? Let's read this in NLT. I tell you the truth. Anyone who believes in me, the house of David, I'm going to keep saying it. Anyone who believes in me will do the same works I have done. So Yahweh Shai, he walked on water, right? He cleansed the leper. He healed the blind. Okay, and as a matter of fact, we don't know all what Yahweh Shai done, because it said that this is spirit. All the books, matter of fact, we don't know every work that Yahweh Shai has done, according to the scriptures. It says, bear me 1 second. This is John 21 and verse 25, and there are also many other things which Yahweh Shai did, the which if they should be written, every one, I suppose that even the world itself could not contain the books that should be written. Amen means what? So be true. All right. So it says that what? So all the works that Yahweh Shai did, there's not enough books to what contain it. But he himself, Yahweh Shai, said that what? We're going to have what? Spiritual powers. The house of David. I tell you the truth. Read it again. NLT. Anyone who believes in me will do the same works I have done, and even greater works, because I'm going to be with the Father. All right. That's Yahweh. You can ask for anything in my name, and I will do it, so that the Son can bring glory to the Father. It's all about, bringing glory to the Heavenly Father. Yahweh Shai. And like I was saying, so we literally, I don't write to Zion, we be those men, we be of the house of David. But if we of the house of David, we literally gonna have spiritual powers, okay? According to the scriptures. Either you believe or you don't, right? And like I was saying, all the things that Yahweh Shai done, all of it is not recorded in books, okay? So, that's pretty much it for tonight. Hey, the water to all the brothers that hopped on, and the sisters as well. The water to the brothers that dropped some precepts, adding to the edification. Okay, I'm going to close it out. I'm going to give all praise and glory unto Yahweh, Bahasham, Yahweh Shai, Bahasham, Rahah, Hudash. Honors be to the elect elders of the nation of Israel that do labor and teach the truth and sincerity. Shalom to all you Akim, you hopeful elect, on the highway and hedges, making your body a living sacrifice, according to Romans 12 and verse 1. And shalom to sincere believers as well, which consist of men and women. Hey, shalom, brakatham, and as always, a Bible ball. Shalom to the sis, Athena Padril. Shalom to the brother Bashana. Shalom to the brother Rob Khan. Shalom to all you Malakium. And Tawab Layallah, which means good night. Shalom.